And they still fighting that case in court. The next dude is Brett Hankerson. He's being sued by Leon Blackston for police brutality and excessive force. So obviously these two people have issue with people who look like us. And the third and most important one is a dude by the name of Officer Kendrick Wilson. No. Miles Crossgrove. He shot a brother 11 times, and Hargrove has been known to get into with brothers on a regular basis. He shot one brother 11 times, and he's being sued by that family for excessive force. And part of the issue that he had with the brothers over women. So these are the people who we have coming into our homes, terrorizing our women and shooting and arresting our brothers. So since they want to scandalize us, like with the young brother Aubrey, and tell us that he got arrested for shoplifting 1,000 years ago, the young brother Trayvon talking about he used marijuana. Hey, well, I take marijuana and shoplifting over shooting people and destroying their lives. And let's not forget, man, y'all in these people's house at 11 o'clock, 11:30, or 12 midnight, 12:30, middle of the night. If you walk into any house in America at that time and you're quietly walking around, you run the risk of being arrested. And the fact that this mayor is talking about, well, he shouldn't have shot him. Look, you wasn't there, and guess what? Yeah, I'm quite sure if they would have run up in that house yelling, everybody lay down, it's the police, it's the police, it's the police, the young brother wouldn't have jumped up and shot their ass. You in the wrong house, you execute the wrong, you went into the wrong house, and the dude who y'all were allegedly looking for is already in custody. Anything that happens to you at that point, if you ask me, is on you. But see, this is why last week I said we need to find these civil rights attorneys in our community and do our best to support them, giving them funds, because guess what? We need to sue the city of Louisville, but we need to support this. But I just put some information from an attorney, a civil rights attorney, in the chat room. He shot that to me on Twitter, because we need to start supporting these places so we can start suing these people, start hitting them in their pockets. We live in a capitalistic society. Actually, it's like a managerial society, but I don't want to get into that either. People live and die with their money. People are willing to walk their ass out in the middle of some airborne disease that's killing people at a rapid rate to get their hair cut. I'm running around this motherfucker look like Mad Dog off goddamn Good Times. All this fucking hair on my head and face. Looking like a black Wolverine. But motherfuckers out here getting their hair and their feet done. You know what I mean? But they go two places. I just put it in the chat room that you can reach out to and offer some funds and something. You know, hey man, slap them people $5, $10 so we can get these people on their heels, hit them where it hurt. Because hey, people, the worst way you can hurt somebody is to take some of that money out their pocket. You know what I mean? Please do that. You know. And with all this bad news that I'm delivering, I want to deliver some good news for a change. The good news is this. Nicholas Johnson, the first black man to ever be valedictorian at Princeton University. Big ups to that brother. It's a hell of a accomplishment. And because I know how my people get down, it's a good chance people saying, well, you always talk about HBCUs. Why are you so proud of that? Princeton ain't an HBCU. The reason I'm proud of that is because this brother, Nicholas Johnson, the first brother in the history of the world, graduate from Princeton and be the valedictorian, that automatically gets you speaking engagements at $35,000 a pop. That's just start right there. Second and most important is this. He acknowledged us. He said he was shocked that he was going to be the valedictorian because they never had, in the history of their university, they never had a brother be valedictorian. Which lets you know that I made it. I'm proud that I made it, but I haven't forgotten where I've come from. And that's exactly where we need to be as a community. Point blank, period. That's exactly where we need to be as a community, saying, yeah, I made it, man. But that don't mean anything. I'm still who I am. And he's in tech. He's not one of these dudes that's trying to put an MBA or a PhD and he is in tech. That means he's graduating from one of the most prestigious universities in the country, if not the world. And he is going to be a world changer. And he looks like us and he's on our side. That's why I'm celebrating the brother. And salute to you and thank you for acknowledging us, because you could have very well forgot about us. Big ups to you. I always offer a means in which we can escape the madness, so to speak. Yes, escape the madness. And what I mean by that is, look, I don't want us asking for no jobs. You know, like the NFL, they're going through this thing about, we're going to give y'all some extra stuff if y'all hire brothers. Nah, we don't want no more damn handouts. Keep your shit if it's me. But it ain't me. It ain't my dream to be a National Football League coach. But what it is I'm offering a few strategies. I'm going with the blue ocean strategy. The blue ocean strategy is this, man. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to open your own business, the blue ocean strategy says this, and simply this. Don't try to be an actor when everybody in Hollywood is trying to be actors. Don't try to be a football player when everybody in the world is trying to be a football player. Go to something that's vast as the deep blue sea. Be the only one out there, and then everybody will swim out there to get you. See, when you are trying to get into a field that everybody's in, it's more difficult. It's easier for you to fail. Come up with a need. You see a need. Here's one of the needs. You may not like it, but this is one of the needs. Security. Security is a need in your community. It is a need in stores. It is a need everywhere because people cutting up and acting up with these masks. So create a security fund. Everybody's not trying to get into that. It doesn't take an insane amount of education. You don't have to go into severe debt and things like that. But you're going to need security. We're living in a world where everybody's volatile. People, why this damn mask? You can't come in here. I don't understand it. It's no shoot, no shirt, no shoes, no service. Mask, no shirt, no shoes, no mask, no service. This is something that you can go into. If more than likely doesn't take a boatload of money to do it. You'll be providing the service. And then you can make money hand over fist protecting people. You can, like, let's just say, I grew up around this place called Atrium Village, and I forgot the one on the south. There was these high-rise complex, not projects. High-rise complex. You over there securing the perimeters, making sure everything is safe. Guess what? You cool. I grew up in a place called Old Town Gardens. It's called Marshallville Gardens now. If you were providing security over there, you're securing the perimeter. They will be paying you money hand over fist. Because if you get in that complex with coronavirus, you can kill everybody there. Now your life in jeopardy, man. I do what you gotta do. And I'm not saying put your life in jeopardy, I'm just saying, look at it this way, man. These are options. These are options. Now, I mentioned earlier reparations and the Census Bureau. The Census Bureau is something I need everybody to fill out. They've extended the deadline for their Census Bureau. Please tell a friend to tune in to Built for this network, to subscribe, but also tell a friend to fill out their Census Bureau form. It only takes a few minutes. You'll be done before you know it, man. You can do it in between fucking commercials, or in between episodes on Netflix, man, or while you watching Netflix. How many Law and Order episodes do you need to see? You know what I mean? While you're looking for something, While your significant other is looking for something on Netflix, you fill out the damn census form, or vice versa. You're trying to funnel as much money into your community as humanly possible. The reason I'm pushing this is because you always get white America saying, hey, black America, stop complaining. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I'm going to give you the ability to combat that ignorant ass statement with this. 40,000, it was 4 million people who were forced into slavery. You are not a descendant of a slave. You are a descendant of a person who was forced into slavery. Stop saying you're a descendant of a slave. A slave is not a human being. A slave is a forced lifestyle. Indentured servitude is not a culture. Stop saying you're a descendant of a slave, please. But anyway, this is where 3/5 of the man thing came in, what I was talking about earlier. These people use the Census Bureau to gain money and power. So you should do the same. I'm not telling you that this is the ideal way. This is the ideal way. This isn't the only way. But if it's $700 billion being disseminated throughout the United States of America this year, you need to get as much as you can. So your kids can have the best possible education, after school programs. You can get money to start businesses and so forth and so on. I've given you the means. All you have to do is go and listen to the other shows. I've given you the means to get this money. But when you hear white folks yell and scream and chant, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, this is all you have to say. When my people were emancipated, 40,000 of us got 40 acres in $100. And the United States federal government waited till the crops were about to be harvested and took the crops and the land back, returning the land and the crops to the people who had them in indentured servitude and further empowering them. Meanwhile, this was instituted by your favorite president, Abraham Lincoln, and he introduced us to sharecropping. And then Andrew Johnson continued this nonsense, President Andrew Johnson, because he was a dude who took over after he got that bullet in his head. And they also, in the same fell swoop, instituted what is called the Homesteader Act. The Homesteader Act gave white landowners 160 acres and a mule and several mules, and gave them financing to get education to learn how to till the land. So how in the hell is that pulling you up by your bootstraps? So now you got people back working for you for pennies on a dollar. My cousin wrote a book about it, that our great grandmother was making 16 cents a year doing this damn sharecropping. So you put me in debt. So listen to this. I worked for free for several hundred years. And when I get emancipated, you introduce me to poor credit. You put me in a bad credit trick bag. By the way, why didn't they just walk away? I wouldn't have done it. Oh, they also instituted loitering laws. So if you ain't got nothing to do, we got some place for you to be. Oh, by the way, when you go, if anybody, slavery is free unless you go to jail. So this is the ultimate trick bag that your folks will put in. So when you look at these situations, you understand why you're in these situations. It's not because somebody worked their ass off. By the way, if you don't want to accept that as a reason why, FDR introduced the New Deal and got us out of the Great Depression, right? Okay. And then when people came home, it's the greatest generation. They came home from the war and they started buying houses. Now, during that period, the vast majority of our folks lived in the South, primarily Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. Vast majority of our folks were down there, right? Explain to me how only 2 people in the state of Mississippi were able to use the GI Bill. Then you create redlining.